Hey everyone, I want to talk about this software today called Recurpost. I just found out about it. I'm about to get started with it, and so I figured I might as well record a little, I don't want to call it a tutorial, but a walkthrough of my process getting started because I'm interested in seeing what it's all about. What happened was I was on Reddit earlier today, of course, and I see this post called 10K users Reddit. I think we did it. And the guy was talking about in r/startups how he had gone through some trials with previous businesses and then launched this one. And someone asked, what is the product or what's the site? And he clicked over it. It was called Recurpost. And so I looked at it and it says, recycle your social media posts for more customer engagement. Now, this is something that I really have been looking for a solution for. And by solution, I mean I was essentially going to hire a virtual assistant to help me out with this because it can get a little bit overwhelming trying to do this all myself. Essentially, I've got like 130 something posts on my website now, but at most I've I'll call it regurgitated those posts one time, and typically not even that for a lot of them. I've got quotes, interesting travel facts, old articles, and so on and so on. But every time I add something new to my website, like I said, I pretty much only that's loading really slow. That's kind of embarrassing. I think like I got this down to like 2 seconds the other day, and now it's loading really slow. It might be my connection here. I'm in Medellin, Colombia, writing this to you. But anyhow, so I've got all these posts. I tweet them out one time, and then that's pretty much it, unless later on I remember to go back and tweet it. And you can see my Twitter is lacking. I've got 494 followers, which is, better than zero, but I do so little with Twitter, it's just embarrassing. I occasionally tweet something interesting that's not travel is life related, but for the most part, I'm just using it to put out my stuff. So anyway, back to Recurpost. When I looked at this tool, I was like, you know what? That's exactly what I might be looking for. He's got a really attractive free plan too. It gives you up to 3 accounts, 100 recurring updates, and 10 per day, 10 posts per day, which for me is fine because I just want to use this for Twitter to start out. So that's only 1 account. I've got, like I said, 130 articles, but I don't necessarily want to put all of them out there for syndication. So what I think I'm going to do is get started with it, set up my Twitter, and then see try it out from there. I'm going to add maybe 100. No, I probably won't even add that much. I'll probably add like 60 different tweets, and then let them syndicate those tweets every day or twice a day. I'll decide the schedule in a little bit and go from there. So I was gonna do like a screencast using pictures, and then I was like, you know what? You don't know what you're doing with this yet, but you might as well make a video so people can check this out in action. I already did this part. I signed up, so I'm just gonna go ahead and sign in. There's my account. First thing I want to do is jump over to social accounts. You can see I already got my Twitter profile set up, but just to show you how easy it is, it took like 1 second. I just clicked on add social account, clicked on Twitter, authenticated the app, and now I'm back. Okay, so there's my first social. Now it says step 2, add content. He says you can basically divide them up into libraries. Like, for example, if I wanted to have my own blog post in a library, other people's content that I wanted to share in another library, like I got a travel tribe, I could certainly put some of their stuff in there too and re-syndicate that. But honestly, at the moment, I have no problem finding new stuff to tweet out. This is about regurgitating old stuff. So I'm just going to make, well, I'll make one general category for now, and I'll call it, travel is life blog posts. I probably should not be lazy and divide them up into categories. Like on the site here, I've got categories for blogging, hacks, buyer guides. Like I got a whole bunch of different stuff here, but I don't want to overdo it. I can always go back later and probably categories. One-time use library. Okay, I don't want that. So I'm just going to keep it simple for now and make one library just to get started. Now it's time to add content. So I guess, the most obvious thing to do is click the big add an update button. This even though this is probably a little bit long and boring, this might be interesting for, let's see, Pro Start Me to check out. He can see how someone who's never used the software before uses it in action. All right, now I'm going to add an update. This is the part that's going to get a little bit tedious. Attach videos, upgrade your plan. Let's see. Keep as a draft. Stop recycling after. Okay, that's interesting. I guess this is the boring part. I'm going to start with my latest article, 50 best riddles for travelers. So click over to that. I actually made a nice tweet about this earlier. I think I'll just copy what I wrote earlier. Not that that tweet was very successful. "50 riddles to keep your family occupied on your next road trip." There's the link. Retweet if you love riddles. Oh my God. Most of you are laughing at me right now, being like, "You suck at Twitter." Yeah, you're right. If you have some suggestions on how to not suck so bad at Twitter, I've never really used it personally before. And so I'm trying to use it professionally for this website because I know there's a lot of travelers out there, but I'm doing a pretty hack job, I guess. Add to library. Okay. Well, I'm going to go and add like 50 of them, but I'm not going to make you watch because that would be dreadful for you. So I'm going to pause this and come back to it in a little. Hey, so I've been adding pretty rapidly. I'm just going through my old tweets, and I'm having to change them a little bit because I want to evergreen them. Like, for example, I don't want to say check out my brand new. I'm removing the dates from things and just cleaning them up so that the tweets will be more relevant in the future and not so like introducing our brand new kind of thing. But since I was doing this, I just thought I'd point out two ideas for Recurpost. The first is that there's no place for emojis. And so I had to come over here, go to tweet, add the emoji, copy and paste it, and bring it back over here, which is no big deal, but just a suggestion. Maybe you can just have a little place to add emojis. And then the other thing is when you go to add the hashtags, like in Twitter, if you start to add beer, it'll give you some suggestions. That would certainly be cool. I mean, I understand if you can't do everything, you're not Twitter, but just two ideas I had that would make the user interface a little bit more valuable. All right, let me get back to it, and then I'll come back to you and show you what I've done. Okay, well that took a little while. I think that took me an hour and a half, but once I got started, I didn't want to stop because I didn't want to like launch this thing and only have 10 tweets retweeting every 5 minutes, every single day. So I went ahead and put 50 of my, or 49 it looks like, of my top posts that I wanted to syndicate. And like I said, I also took the time to rewrite the tweets so that they had a little bit more of an evergreen feel. And then I, of course, found a few mistakes on my blog and went back and added some things. You know how you get distracted when you're doing one thing and you end up doing 1,000 others. So I got 49 queued up. Next, I'm going to set my schedule. Well, what would be ideal for me here is if I can find a way to do twice a day and then randomize it. Because I certainly don't want to sit here and choose Friday this tweet. Just randomize it. I don't care. You know what I mean? Here's 49 tweets. Go crazy. So select a library. Select frequency. I wonder what that means. Select time. Do it for me. All right, click there, add time slot. Wait, what did I do? I'm gonna try this again. I can't tell if. Oh, okay, I see. Um, Monthly would be if I just wanted to do it like one day of the month. I'm trying to do it every single day. So I guess I'll do another time slot because I like to do this twice a day. Okay. Now what? All right. That's it. Give us about 24 hours and we will show you content in your editorial calendar. Um, Wait, do it now. Don't make me wait 8 hours. I don't understand why. Our scheduler runs once a day at 8. It'll schedule content for the next day. If you haven't said anything to go out tomorrow. Okay, well, that's all I can show you right now. I guess I might just hold off on showing this video and I'll pop back tomorrow and see what's up with this and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna pause this and I will talk to you then. Okay, guys, I'm back. It was scheduled to be ready to go, I think at 8 a.m. this morning. It's now 10, and I'm just coming back to it. And so you can see from the previous screen, the editorial calendar has now been populated with 2 tweets. I had clicked around a little bit before I pressed play this time, so you wouldn't have to see me live going through this. But I had only clicked in a few places. I'm going to show you what that is. The first is that these are the 2 most previous tweets that I had made, and all live. I mean, the most previous ones I had made live, and they are also ones that I had input first into the Recurpost system. And so it made me think I don't really want to necessarily do the most recent tweets. I don't want them to go in the order that I have them. And so I jumped over to Content Library. I clicked on the only library that I have, and I clicked Action Shuffle. Okay, so that should get the job done sufficiently. I wasn't too concerned with the order, other than I didn't want to necessarily go in the same order every single time. I wanted some variety to it. When I jump back to editorial calendar, it's the same 2 from before. So I'm thinking that you can't necessarily change them. Maybe I could. I guess I could delete it and maybe it would populate another one. But according to what I was reading here, at 8 a.m. every morning, they basically populate the editorial calendar for that day based on whatever you did the day before. And so this is ready to go and populated for today. It looks like one of them is going to post at 1:14 and the other one's going to post at 3:09. Even though these are the 2 most recent tweets that I made, that's okay. They're also relatively newer articles that I wanted to get out there, so I'm going to let it run for now rather than delete it. And then tomorrow, it should go and pull from my content. Oops, I jumped over to Facebook there. It should pull from my content library, and I would assume this one, and then this one, and then this one. And if at any point, let's say in 30 days from now, I wanted to shuffle it again so that the tweets didn't always come out in the same order, I can just come back here and shuffle it. And that's all I've got. I had looked through some of their training, and I saw one thing that looked interesting, which was the plugin section. They've got a URL shortener, a hashtag replacer. This is interesting, and of course you can import the tweets from Twitter. I wish I had seen that yesterday, because then I could have just sucked over all my tweets. But really, I ended up rewriting them all anyway, so it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. I mean, maybe if you have thousands of tweets, that might be helpful to you. But for me, I just wanted to start with 50 and write them by hand. So here, if I wanted to, every time I mention the word travel, I could replace it with the hashtag travel. And that's what the hashtag replacer plugin does. I'm not going to use this for now because I had already gone through and added all the hashtags to each individual tweet that I wanted to. And And that's all I've got. So I think the next logical step is just to wait until 1:14 today and see if it works. I have no reason at this point to think that it would not work, but I would just like to see it in action, and then I'll go from there. So I'll catch back up with you a little bit later. Hey, I'm back, and it's actually a couple days later because this is the end of the video, by the way, the last little segment of it. I wanted to, of course, end the video showing that it worked or didn't work, and I was optimistic, and it worked. Only yesterday, however, I went back at the end of the day, and it wasn't there, my tweets. And I realized that earlier I had said I'll check back at the end of the day, that the editorial calendar had actually said December 10th, which was for today. So I was making the video, I guess, on the 9th, thinking that it was starting that day because it was that morning. But actually, and I had read an email from Dinesh, the developer, that when you first start out, it's like a 2-day wait because of when their scheduler runs, and it starts the next day. So long story short is that here was that tweet. It posted 2 hours ago. Now, if you remember from a few minutes ago, I had actually 2 tweets lined up, but I jumped the gun and I was curious if I deleted one of them, if a different one would populate. That is not the case. So I had deleted one of the ones that were scheduled for today and just left this one, and that's why 2 tweets didn't post. It wasn't a problem with the app or anything. But yeah, 2 hours ago, this one posted, and it looks like, you know, tomorrow I've got these 2 tweets lined up. So hey, so far so good, and honestly, I have 0 complaints about something that I think all in all I've put 90 minutes into scheduling, and now I've got 2 tweets coming out a day for forever. And I guess as I create new posts and as I add new tweets and stuff like that, I'll just add them to here. It'll become part of my routine, and no complaints for something that's completely free. That's amazing. I mean, at some point I might cross the 100 tweet barrier and at the time choose to pay for the ability to have more tweets in my library, or just delete some old ones and keep 100 new ones. I'll decide at the time. For now, though, looking good. I'm going to post the link to this Recurpost software. I'm glad I found it. Been looking for something like it, and it'll seem to do the trick for Twitter for free. I'm just going to use it for Twitter for the time being because I'm much more active on Facebook and don't really have the issue of needing to regurgitate stuff there. And that's it. All right. Thanks for watching and bearing with me on my long videos, and I will talk to you soon. Give me a shout if you have any questions or if I can help you out. Talk to you later.